After Zoro joined with them, they all followed the passageway, and to their surprise, they ended going downstairs. Why are there all of a sudden these stairs leading down? Asked Frankie, who wondered who built these stairs, and why were they heading down at said entrance. So it doesn't matter. Huh? What was that sound? Wondered Luffy out loud, which made the others stop and look forward. From the dark emerged a big dog with 3 heads. While the others were a little surprised, and some even considered the beast cute, Broly remembered that he saw a creature similar to this on a planet he visited when he was a kid. The beast wasn't shaped like a dog, but more like some lizard, and it had 4 heads instead of 3, unlike this one. Broly chuckled at the memory because that was his first battle and how easily he killed the beast. He also remembered how proud he felt at the time, but only to be humiliated by his father, who complained how sloppy and slow he killed it. Broly was about to put his hand in front and destroy the beast just because it reminded him of the memory of his dead father, but he woke up from that when he saw Luffy punch the beast and that he tamed the 3-headed dog in any case. I wonder how it can still be alive, with that kind of wound, stated Robin, who noticed the wound on the 3-headed dog, but what Sanji found strange was the fact that it wasn't completely a 3-headed dog. Above that, it's a wonder this thing is alive when it has 1 head from a fox, said Sanji while he picked up the fox head by the ear, only to receive a quiet moan from the beast, but he quickly let go the beast as Luffy jumped on the beast and ordered to move forward. Some minutes later, the crew found the stairs leading up and climbed them. The group passed by the metallic gate and walked into the forest. This island is so fun already with this guy popping out. I can't wait to see other animals, exclaimed Luffy happily while he was on top of the beast, who was having a bad time, on which Robin smiled and pitied the being while Sanji shouted Nami's name and hoped to receive an answer, but nothing. Zoro and Broly just walked quietly, none of them saying a word, while Frankie was 1 step behind, observing the new place they entered. Everything was quiet and peaceful until Luffy saw something really strange and bizarre. In front of them was a tree with a face of an old man having a drink with a unicorn. Both Luffy and Frankie rushed towards them and caught them easily. I caught him, yelled Luffy happily while the tree with a face pleaded and cried to be freed. Haha, I caught a strange one, said Frankie, who dragged the unicorn by its horn, and it was in this moment when Luffy thought of something. Hey, I know. You two want to join my pirate? Luffy couldn't even finish his speech when he was interrupted by Zoro and Sanji, who yelled at the same time at their captain's stupid idea, stop fucking around. The uncomplicated crew walked for more than 20 minutes, and in the meantime, Sanji yelled at both Luffy and Frankie. He yelled at Luffy because of his careless invitation to everyone he saw, and to Frankie because he was into it too, but that soon escalated to the point where Sanji and Frankie were arguing about if Frankie was a robot, a cyborg, or a pervert. While the two were arguing, Luffy was singing a song since he was happy and excited about this place, but at the same time, Robin was thinking about something that she noticed on this island about that tree person and the unicorn. I found something strange about them, spoke Robin, who caught Zoro's attention as well as Broly's, who remained quiet, curious to hear her theory. Well, this forest has many strange creatures and all of them have similar wounds, stitches, and numbers on their bodies, stated Robin, on which Zoro and Broly as well come to one logical conclusion. So that would mean that these strange creatures have a common origin, said Zoro as he walked while he glanced at Robin, who only nodded, but all of them stopped when they suddenly heard something. Hey, are you all hearing that? Asked Luffy, who tried to pinpoint the exact location of the sound, but was soon surprised when he saw a ghost appearing right in front of him. An apparition. It's a ghost, yelled the captain excitedly and ready to catch the white ghost, who repeated the same word the whole time. Look, guys, it's dancing and multiplying. I'm gonna catch it, exclaimed Luffy, who was about to jump and catch the ghost, while Sanji just stood on the left side from the 3-headed dog and didn't like the sound of the ghosts. I'm gonna catch it and keep him, yelled Luffy determinedly as he jumped and tried to catch the ghost with a net, but it just went through the ghost, which kept saying the same word, negative, it doesn't have any substance. Let's try this. Fresh free, yelled Frankie and unleashed his fiery breath, thinking that would get rid of the ghost, but it did nothing. Instead, the ghost went through Frankie, which made him somehow different. It seems I can't do anything right these days. I just want to die already, cried Frankie, who dropped on the ground and begged to die, while Sanji yelled at the cyborg because of his stupid behavior. What the hell are you getting depressed for? Yelled Sanji, and while he was yelling at Frankie, Luffy tried to catch the ghost with his bare hands, but he went just through him, and just like Frankie ended up depressed and him soon messed up. I want to die, cried Luffy together with Frankie on the ground, while Sanji grew angrier. Stop with this group therapy already, shouted Sanji furiously, pretty sure he was heard all over the world because of these two. The third ghost was about to move towards his next target, which was Broly. The tall scion was well aware of his surroundings, and when the ghost was just in front of him, with his amazing speed he moved away from the ghost and avoided the attack without anyone even noticing. While all of that was going on, Robin came to a conclusion that maybe by touching this ghost both Luffy and Frankie ended up like that, on which Zoro snarled at how weak their spirit was, but just then a ghost passed through Zoro who ended just like the other two on the ground, crying and wishing to die. The blonde cook couldn't take it anymore and without mercy beat the three men to their senses. It seems you were right, Robin, said Sanji as he fired up the cigarette and exhaled the smoke. This sure is a strange island, stated Robin, on which everybody couldn't but agree, and luckily for them the ghost all of a sudden flew away from them, leaving them surprised and angry at the same time. They continued their walking while Frankie and Luffy were mad at the ghost and while Sanji was making fun of Zoro, who wasn't in the mood for that. As they walked, they noticed that they entered in the graveyard when Luffy came with a brilliant idea. This graveyard is so cool, let's eat here, suggested Luffy, who was already hungry and wanted to eat his packed lunchbox from Sanji. Idiot. This place would ruin the food. Besides, we're in a hurry, stated Sanji, who wanted to see Nami. He had a bad feeling about all of this, and he was right because they suddenly heard something. They looked to their right and saw the ground crack and an old man in a bad shape come out of it. Luffy stared at the man when he started to walk towards it, and when he arrived in front he just grabbed the man by its shoulders and pushed it back in his grave. 5 seconds passed when the old-looking man jumped from the grave, angry at Luffy. What do you think you're doing, moron? Hey, you're badly wounded. Are you okay? Asked Luffy while the others in the back yelled at him because of his lack of sense. That's a zombie. And just as they yelled, all the zombies in the graveyard jumped out and started to slowly walk towards them. While they slowly walked towards them, Broly once again found this planet strange. He never met nor heard about people who died and then managed to rise from their graves. Broly soon noticed that a couple of zombies were near him and that they were about to bite him. Just like him, the others were also attacked and defended themselves from the horde of zombies. The Scion responded by simply releasing his energy high enough to blow the zombies high in the sky, making unable to see them ever again. The strong Scion just spat at the poor attempt of the Walking Dead when he saw how the rest of the crew handled them. Soon after that, the captain handled the interrogation of the zombies and discovered that Nami, Usopp, and Chopper indeed passed through this graveyard, and also that the zombies attacked them, so he decided to put the zombies back in the ground. But upside down, the crew resumed their search and walked out from the graveyard, but little did they know that somebody was following them from behind. An old man, all covered with bandages and with a lamp in his hand, walked as fast as he could to catch the crew and asked them something very important. Well, wait, please. Wait, you guys, yelled the old man, who barely managed to catch the others' attention, and continued his speech. I just saw how strong you really are, and I have one request for you, said the man while he tried to breathe. Huh? You're badly wounded. What happened, old man? Asked Luffy while Zoro, Frankie, and Sanji yelled at Luffy for not recognizing another zombie, but it ended up that they were at fault. Ha! What's up with that getup? You really look like a zombie, yelled the trio angrily at the man, but the man didn't even hear them. Please, I beg you, you young people, to defeat a certain man. Many have fallen ill because of him, and if he were defeated, everything and everybody would return to normal, and I would be eternally grateful to you all if my shadow were returned back to me, stated and pleaded the old man, who was on his knees, almost crying for help, which Broly found disgraceful and turned to the other side. While old man, you really don't have a shadow, just like Brook, exclaimed Luffy, who stood just in front of the old man when he noticed that the man was missing his shadow. Who was it that did all this? Is he on this island? Asked Zoro, who was curious to know who was this guy with such power, and he wasn't the only one. The Scion already focused his full attention to this. He was sure that this guy who can steal shadows is probably strong, and he was sure to find him and see how strong he really is before he ends his life. Yes, I know who he is. It's Moria, answered the old man, immediately causing Robin to sweat in fear, which only Broly noticed and already figured that this Moria was a real deal. To search for Moria? Are you referring to Gecko Moria? Asked Robin, who wanted to be sure that she heard right, and she did when the old man confirmed it. Hey, Robin, do you know this guy Moria? Asked Luffy, who wondered if Robin maybe knew this man who could steal shadows. I know his name well. His bounty exceeds even yours, Luffy. Gecko Moria, one of the 7 warlords, stated Robin, on which everybody widened their eyes in surprise except Broly, who didn't have a clue what that meant, but he did understand that this Moria guy must be strong since his bounty was bigger than Luffy's. The tall black-haired scion couldn't but smirk. This was it, what he waited for all these days, to find a strong opponent and have some fun before killing it.